Hi, this is Mohsen, and I welcome you on behalf of Platinum Global Solutions to our series of the online interview sessions. And we are proud and glad to have you as a keynote speaker on our upcoming Drug Discovery Conference. Thank you so much for taking out time for your busy schedule. So before we kickstart our interview session, I would like to have a brief introduction session about your professional career, and your area of expertise in which you are working. Thank
Hi everyone, I'm Golan from Univo. Actually, I established this company 4 years ago, and I was retired from the military of the Israeli Defense Force after 21 years. And this was my experience to actually run a multi-billion projects and get the right results in the right time. I established this company 4 years ago, and I was started to actually with the manufacturing and not to started to grow to build a farm. Not expectedly like everybody else. Everyone else started to build a farm, and I know that the manufacturing, this is the main business, because the manufacturing is where the all raw materials started, and the manufacturing is actually the barrier for the good products, if it's come to the productions or not come to the production, if it's rejected, or if it's actually reliable, or in getting to the process. And right now we have control in the whole process. We have our own farm in Univo, we have the manufacturing, we have the distribution center, and we are full independence in the whole supply chain. This is what's so uniqueness, including the R&D lab. Our R&D lab is one of the best R&Ds in Israel, including the cannabis industry. And we have 4 patents that we registered already. We started to develop a new products 2 years ago, including cream for skin lesion, suppositories for humorous and colitis. The 3rd patent is gel for oral cavity, and the 4th patent is drops, is actually oil drops for children. It's a product that's going to replace the Ritalin. It's for ADHD for children.
Okay.
And those are our 4 patents that's under development right now in our R&D lab. So actually we are a technic group, a technic company, including the manufacturing, the production, and the growing part.
Okay, perfect. Glad to know this. So let me move on to our first question. So tell me, what do you think about the ongoing pandemic situation, and what's your take on the impact on businesses worldwide?
Actually, the pandemic situation is very bad for the industry, not in the cannabis, but in the other economics in the world. As we see, there is no flight, so it's actually make difficult for me in personally to meet face to face with our partners around the world. But in Israel, the cannabis industry getting back great results in the last year, including the pandemic side, because we are actually have the obligations to still run and to still growing and to manufacturing under the sections, and we actually not get damaged.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. So, according to your experience, Gotten, briefly explain the current situation of the drug discovery industry and what your forecast related to it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you well. Can you replace?
According to your experience, briefly explain the current situation of the drug discovery industry and what is your forecast related to it.
Our drug forecast investment is actually what we are doing in Israel right now. It's under the drug discussion, the Ministry of Health, and we are actually it's the cannabis is still in the drug situation and in the drug economy, and we actually working under the high regulation of Ministry of Health, like every manufacturing that's producing epinephrine or any kind of other drugs in the cannabis, not in the cannabis industry, in in the drug production.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. So now as a company, what changes you have introduced in the overall operations and business strategies in these challenging times? And more importantly, how these changes are going to impact the future landscape of the industry?
Look, the cannabis industry is increased, and we see that we are rising up, including we are raising our selling in Israel, and now the export law is approved in Israel, so we started to export our cannabis products around the world. The other markets are still low. There are low volumes in Germany, and there is low volume in UK, and there are still low volume because the regulation uh, in the other markets are it's not how to say it, it's not forecast like in Israel. In Israel, they are they take it they take it more faster and more forward, and unlikely like in Germany and other markets. But they started to do this right now. You know how much cannabis and how much tons we sell in Israel in the last 2020?
Okay, okay, perfect.
20, 28 tons sold in Israel in 2020. You know how we are only 9 million people. You know how much tons sold in Germany? 82 million people. Only 8 ton. So you can measure the population and the demand. The demand is huge,
Exactly,
but the
exactly.
regulation is still taking it hard, and it says in no time.
Okay, 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 perfect, perfect. Okay, so lastly, Colin, what are you expecting from this e-conference of drug discovery, and what valuable insights our audience can expect from your presentation session?
From my presentation session, they can actually see what's going on in the cannabis industry around the world, what's going on in Europe, what they are going to expect in their markets and in their pharmacy store around the corner. If they're going to expect Univo products or a local products, what is the difference between the products, including the THC and the CBD? What is the difference between the medical cannabis and the recreational cannabis? There is so much difference. There is a difference between the standards. The medical cannabis has its own standards. The recreational cannabis has lower standards, and it's different. And the medical cannabis, of course, is sold under prescription in a pharmacy store, and it's different. And it's all depending in the local regulation. This is very important.
Thank you so much, Golan, for your valuable time. Thank you so much that you have given this valuable time to us, and we're very thankful to you. Looking forward to have a insightful presentation from your side in the upcoming Global Drug Discovery Conference, and it's a pleasure to have you over. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.